Reason why I joined the Wildman initially was down to I reached probably a bit of a crisis point in my relationship with my wife and with my family. We seem to be growing further and further apart, just through the normal mundane and probably not appreciating each other so much. And it got to a point where ultimately we had a conversation around splitting up, and it was not something I wanted. I wanted to keep my wife, I wanted to keep my family together, and I realised that I had to, as well as my wife doing something different, I also had to do something different too. I think we've been growing apart, and just time wasn't there, and I don't think we'd spent the time enough for each other. So that was the initial reason why I joined. However, after doing the course and after a couple of weeks into the course, I realised it was more about me than my family. So the prime reason then became more about me, and then from me developing, the family bit would come. So that was only after joining the course where we talked about life purpose. I started reading more information around it, and at that point I thought, actually no, it's for me, this. And then from me, the family connection grows. So that was the real reason initially. It's being assertive. It's being able to stand up for yourself or what you believe, to express your opinion, as opposed to letting something stagnate beneath the surface. So I think they were the key things. So I think, it's brought more balance into the relationship. It's allowed my wife to step back a little bit. There's still a long way to go. We've still got work to do. But it'll allow her to, step more into the feminine, which is probably, where she wants to go as well. Although, the kind of the patterns are changing or need to be developed. And there was a point where my daughter said to me, "Wow, Daddy's becoming mummy and mummy's becoming daddy." That was probably about 3 weeks into the course. And my wife also used to have a recurring dream where, basically she was driving a bus and the family was in, there was no one in the steering wheel, or she had to jump and get the steering wheel. And again, a few weeks into the course, the dream stopped. Well, the dream was I was in the steering wheel and she could relax. So subconsciously, there's probably a lot going on there. Certainly, a few weeks into the course, it made a big difference. We were a lot more intimate with each other, a lot more open, a lot more honest. We slowed down a lot. I love making. So again, we're getting more connected in that sense. Before I joined the course, I was very skeptical, I must admit. Before I decided to take a decision and go for it, I was skeptical. I've never done an online group before. I've never sat in a men's group before. I was questioning, the value of what was being offered, and I was questioning how effective could this actually be over online and over the internet. I just thought, for the money I'm paying, what am I getting, and how effective is it going to be? I did say that once I commit, and that's always been my way. But I was very not quite sure about this. But since joining, I've been amazed by the level of connectedness we had as a team of brothers that went on this journey together, and we still continue to do so now. I found that making a commitment to a team of brothers that are all doing the same thing, I would stick to it. Every time I was tempted, I'd remember my commitment. So much so, I think in October when we did it, I committed to set up a website, and I did it from nothing. I had nothing at the end of September, and I said by the end of October I'll have a website set up, and I did it. And that was working full time with 2 kids, and I literally did half an hour every night where I could, and I managed to get this website created. So, and hopefully that will be part of my future path. So I didn't believe the level of strength and commitment you could get from it, but I've been really, really surprised. I think since I've been doing this, I think there's been a lot of new opportunities have come up. I've been surprised how many. Over the course of 10 weeks, I've been offered to start up a new business. And again, that came out of the blue. It came from a video I posted on Wildman on Facebook, which was on there for about 5 seconds before I took it down because I posted it public rather than into the group. And then an opportunity came from that. And I think even at work, I've had lots of other opportunities. There's been a process of letting go of certain things, which has then led to other things. And I don't know, there seems to be a bit more respect, a bit more focus from my perspective. But again, it does make a difference on people around you. I've noticed that, and I now have numerous opportunities to choose from, which probably wouldn't have existed before, or maybe it's because I've shifted that these opportunities are coming. I think what I probably found prior to the course is that, I probably reacted more. I probably wasn't present enough, and they pick up on that straight away. We're playing and I'm not present. They get really disheartened and walk away or get angry and frustrated. So I think being more aware, being more present, I think that builds on that connection, and I think it's allowing them to be rather than trying to force your will. They're the perfect test, the perfect gift and the perfect test.
Mhm.
And I think you can learn a lot from your children. I think they're in that position of, they live in the moment. We're generally living in the past or in the future, and I think it's trying to get back to that moment, and that's the gift and the joy that they bring. So my relationship's improved. My son's joined me on the Wildman workout. He's he's been involved. Doesn't last long, but he likes to get involved in these things. So I definitely felt a deeper connection. And again, I'm trying to be more aware and try to think before I act. Now, again, not always simple. It's a lot of practice that you need to continue. But certainly the tools that I've got, the awareness and the workout, the meditation, that's all been really useful in helping to improve that. The course material is fantastic. I think really well set out. And in terms of the actual calls, the 2 calls a week were fantastic. You were the highlight of my week. I look forward to sitting with yourself and the brothers. I think you hold the conversation well. You allow people to talk, to be, to breathe, to cry, whatever needs to come out during the phone calls, and you hold a space that people feel comfortable in that. I mean, some of the things I've admitted to the group whilst I've been on there, I've never really told anybody. I don't really have a band of people around me who I could talk to quite freely about them things. The power of actually, now I know you guys, but not knowing people, but you're all on a similar journey was really powerful, because you can actually be honest and talk about things where I tried to talk to my group of friends about some of them topics. It's just not the right environment. So I think it's a really powerful way of being able to express things that are deep down, which you're kind of hidden, which probably need to come to the surface and be dealt with.